had a can of Raid out tonight.
Eric Gordon.
Oh.
Second chances, sometimes they come out of nowhere and swing possession. Gobert.
Ooh. Okay.
Lead 5.
Gee, you like that? That's a man's jam.
I
right
like
there.
that.
Rockets battle back, step back. Harden, bucket, back, step back. Harden, bucket. And here's another one of Gordon's threes from the top of the key.
We call back?
Lead was 4 at the break for the Rockets. They pick up where they left off. 19-3 run, G Hill, to start the third for Houston.
Yeah, Houston came out after that bank shot in the first.
Role reversal, like in reverse. Clint Capella. Mitchell not happy with the communication on defense. He won't like this either. Hard to see. There's Harden. Capella 16 points, 10 boards. Harden and the Rockets up 11. Jazz though fire back 12-2 run.
Oh, that's a nice.
Ensuing opportunity.
Live pass right there. Ingles the favorite. I like what the Jazz did in the second half, though. They really showed some fight. It looked like they were going to fade away in the third quarter, but then they got right back into it.
Rubio, 17 points, 11 assists. The steal. Up the court. Lead from Jingles and the easy bucket. Back come the Rockets, this time at CP3. Chris Paul, 15 points, 8. The feed from Paul. 15 points, 4 of 8 from 3. Lead is 4. Jay Crowder, big first half in the last game, and a big shot here, G Hill.
Big shot, stepped up, knocked it down in transition. Big time 3. Utah hanging around.
Corver and company love it. He had 15 and 10. Harden.
This is the weirdest coverage I've
The potato sack race defense running behind you, and there goes Harden with the teardrop. He was not. Here's a turnover. Mitchell not happy. 0 for 9 from 3 for the Spider, and then Ingles inside, and Harden showing the defense, B-Wood.
Oh, nice strip right there. Who says James Harden doesn't play defense? That's actually some great hands right there. Get a turnover for his team late in the ball game.
What we didn't show in the highlight, just out of the thought of just being nice people, was the air ball from Ricky Rubio from 3 into corner late. Look, tried hard, gave effort, he had a fight defensively against Harden, which is not a position he should even be in most of the series. Missed the biggest shot, though, that he did take all season. Talked about that and the loss in this game afterwards.
We wasted the first 2 games. We make a series on the game 3, but we didn't compete the first 2 games, and now it's more painful, you know. I think we showed the team we were capable of the last 3 games, but it's unacceptable how we played the first 2.
You were stable and also very consistent, but how do you explain just the shooting woes and the missed shots and the confidence way you guys were in?
We gotta control what we can't control. The ball goes in on yesterday. I mean, the other game, game 4 or game 3, we didn't shoot the ball that well either, but we just play with hard like we did tonight, and the game is gonna give us a chance to win the game. But yeah, we missed shots, a lot of them, but we compete the last 3 games, and that's how we gotta be.
What did you think defensively? You guys are asked to do something really different, and that was impressive the last couple of games.
Yeah, that might affect why we play the way we did. It's a tricky and different game plan, but I think once we figure out how to do it and everybody buy in, we did it. We had our back against the wall, and we came to play. A lot of people do this or do that. Coach played the odds, and he's one in the film room watching how we can guard and how we can have success. He gave us a good game plan, and we started executing in game 3.
Look, one thing about Ricky Rubio, he knows, we all know, he's not a great shooter, didn't have a very good season. Gave great effort. The Jazz gave great effort across the board. I don't know necessarily, and maybe too hard on tonight, which is one of the reasons, gee, it was close. It's not going to be close. But there's close, and then there's how close Ricky Rubio was tonight, which is one of the reasons, gee, it was close. It's not going to be close. But there's close, and then there's how close Ricky Rubio was to the back of James Harden during the course of this series. It's like this. We had Tibbs in here, G. Hill, and I asked him about it. And look, I think every coach will tell you, kind of dicey, right? Going into a playoff series, go change up a defense you haven't used all year.
No, very dicey, very bold, but certainly had some effects in the last 2 games, 3 games, really. But yeah, unconventional.
I've never seen that.
I mean,
I've never
this is
seen it.
like-
Have you ever seen this? Like,
Not at all.
jump behind him
Dude,
and give him a layup? Like, who's the defensive coordinator? Jackie Moon?
I saw it. I saw it.
Like, I've never.
And then I
I've
had
never
the time
seen
of my
coverage
life
like
started playing. I think it was Dirty Dancing. We put Baby in a corner. We've never seen this on a floor. You ever play defense like that?
Nah, that, normally, that type of defense is frowned upon. So you normally want to. It's almost a basketball rule. Stay in front of the man you're guarding. Guard your kind of
Look at that lane
maybe
right
Houston
there,
off,
man.
but Houston wants to take. Threes and get layups. And right now, basically, Utah was saying, we're not going to let you get the 3. We're going to force you into the lane to our shot blocker, Rudy Gobert. And I can say it did have maybe some effect because Harden didn't have his best game tonight. But it's just very unconventional. When you have to go to trick gimmicky, Utah has to look at how the Western Conference is built right now. And when you look at the teams like the Golden States and the Houstons and some of the elite teams, I don't know if they match up from a personnel standpoint. You know, the double bigs that they used throughout the course of the year and the playmaker. Utah has some very big time moves that they need to make from a free agent standpoint, draft standpoint, because I think they have to tweak how this team is built to a certain extent.
Well, it's interesting. You talk about how they defended him. I actually think it speaks to the brilliance of James Harden. That, you're basically saying we're going to run him off the 3-point line. We're going to get behind him and make him uncomfortable and guard him in a way where he has to take 2s, which is really not anything.
I don't think it made him comfortable because
It was weird to have a guy just standing behind you all the time.
And with perfect timing, we go to James Harden in his pajamas to tell us about the end of this series.
Man, they shooting House Party 4 in a little bit, man. He's trying to get a part.
Series. Is this the most resilient team that you've been on?
One of them for sure. Just all the different changes and things that we went throughout the course of the year, injuries, trades, all that good stuff. We found a way to get to the 4 seed and face a really good Utah Jazz team, and you got to give them credit for the entire series. Like every game, they found a way to compete, especially at home. And even tonight, they just didn't let up. They took us to the end of the game.
The way that you had to grind out these last 3 games, how can that help you moving forward?
That's what the playoffs are about. Obviously, everyone will want everything easy and you cruise through the playoffs. But like I said, once we found out we were matched up with Utah, we knew how tough they were and how physical they were, rim protection, and how good their defense is. And so we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We found ways throughout the course of the series and to try to get easy baskets. And like I said, you got to give them credit. They played a tough series.
Kind of along the same lines, in a game like this, in a series like this, to have to close it out with Eric had the steal, you had the strip.
We didn't. Not making is extra. That's a bonus. If we're guarding like we've been guarding, and knocking down our shots, then it's going to be pretty tough.
Valencia King, KKVI. I talked to Daniel just about the type of grinded out game it was. Just talk about the DNA of this team.
Our defense. I think maybe I don't know how many times this series they scored over 100, maybe once. We've been playing some very, very good defense. Like I said, when we knock down shots, it makes it tougher for the opposing team. So tonight we barely got 100, but we held them under 100, and that's the goal.
James, you had a big play despite being in foul trouble. 5 fouls. You were able to get that big strip late in the game. How important was that for you?
It was key. I think one possession, just me having 5 fouls, I didn't want to be too aggressive and pick up my 6. But so I think it was one possession where I allowed Donovan to get to the basket and make a shot in the paint. Teammates got on me like, just play through it and make them call the foul. And so, confusion on the pick and roll. Joe Ingles got down hill. He passed it to Gobert. I just tried to veer back and make a play on the basketball, and I got it.
After Clint has been struggling with his illness, what was it like for him to have the game he had tonight to help y'all out?
He was due for one. Even, just last game, he didn't play well, wasn't feeling well. And so we knew how important tonight was. Like, we didn't want to go back to Utah, and they didn't want their season to end, and they played like it. So 4 quarters, we grinded it out. They went up 6 or 8. We brought it back down. We had an opportunity to go up, I think 15 or something like that, or we had double-digit lead in that 3rd quarter, and they fought back. So it was a pretty tough series. We found ways to win, and guys made big plays.
Mr. Harden, can you speak to the game that PJ had? He played really good on the defensive end, but he also stepped up and hit those big free throws at the end as well.
Yeah, we know what we're going to get out of PJ every night. The way he plays his butt off every single night, no matter what. No matter if he's making shots or not. 2 huge free throws, two big steals that he got, and I think it was one was a rebound. But he took his time, knocked those free throws down, and it was huge for us to have a 3-point lead and an opportunity to get another stop.
James, I know you've developed an off-court relationship with Donovan in the last couple of years. Any advice you give him? Any message you'd give him after a night like this?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him. Just we haven't really spoken throughout the course of the series. I haven't spoken to any of them. But he just first round matchup is tough. He's playing against us, So, but he's confident. He's confident. You see what he did last game. Like, he's capable of taking over a game, and this is only his second year. And so, once he gets them years under his belt and more control, and he knows that he's one of those guys, sky's the limit for him.
I can only think of a few times in the last 3 years that Mike has changed his rotation to match someone up defensively, usually PJ and LeBron kind of thing. When he did that, to have Eric on Donovan all game, in or out of the game, what did that say? What does that tell us about what he does?
Eric was fighting this entire series. Like, tonight he played Denver 40 minutes. He only had 15, but the defense that he played on Donovan was 4 for 22 and had 12 points. And I know how exhausted Eric was. But that was his job. Obviously, we all know how great of a shooter Eric is, but the way he was guarding, fighting over screens, contesting shots, he did a hell of a job throughout the course of the series.
The next series could be against the Warriors. What do you guys have to prove in that series?
We'll find out what happens after the game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Time now for the play of the night presented by Little Caesars, and it is a strip presented by Little Caesars, and it is a strip.
That's the best play we had in the
by
whole
James
game.
Harden.
All right.
It's an important play.
Yeah. It wasn't an important strip. I thought we might have like a dunk or a crossover.
Well, we're going to show the guy handling the air in the building. No, that's probably done. By the way, James Harden doesn't think they're playing the Warriors or an upper body, or Bill Belichick. He's probable. Everyone's probable. Really? Come on, man. Like, we all know you're going to play Golden State. It's not like they haven't thought about it. Come on, man.
I think they prefer to talk about it once it's official.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why? Because they work for...
That's probably one of those things they talked about in the locker room.
Yeah, probably said in the locker room. Nobody
let's
talk
not
about Golden State.
Let's not talk about that until that series is over with. Sometimes...
Because that'll help them play better?
No, well, sometimes your coaches just give you, this is the message that we want to get out right now. We're not going to talk about Golden State until that series is over with. We have plenty of time to talk about Golden State.
Don't you want to be excited to play Golden State? Right? Yeah. It's okay, right? Yeah. Clint Capella felt better today. Chris Paul and his group going forward. Clint Capella felt better today. Chris Paul and his group going forward.
Felt a lot better tonight. How did you feel out there, and what did you think of your performance tonight?
I felt a lot better on my screens, on finishing at the rim, the energy. I really felt like definitely another person than the last game, and it felt great. It felt great.
Chris, you've been a point guard in this league since 2003. Is this one of the toughest teams that you've been on?
You talking about us?
Yes, sir. This year.
Yeah, I mean, this team, we got a lot of good. It was going to be a hard-fought series, so it was great to get the win tonight. I want to go back to Utah. You know what I mean? Seriously. I mean, it got so loud there that last game when I missed that free throw. You know, so we wanted to try to take care of business tonight, and all night we was just talking about the energy. We just wanted to pick up the energy because it's always hard to beat a team and close them out. So, you know, it took a complete team effort, and we're glad we got the win.
Chris, there's always so much emphasis on what you guys do offensively, but can you speak to how well you played defensive series against a really good team? So what you guys do offensively, but can you speak to how well you played defensive series against a really good team?
It was crazy. You know, we were turning the ball over in the first half, missing all types of shots. But we were in the locker room, it was like they only got 42 points or something like that. Yeah, they only had 42 points, so our defense had been doing well. And then down the stretch, steals, James with the big steal on Gobert. It's sort of how it's been for us all year long, especially towards the end of the year. It's getting stops to win games.
Chris, one of the things you always talk about is how you guys communicate, and Coach Snyder said that that's one of the things this team does so well. Are you guys kind of getting where you feel like you need to be with that?
Yeah, we're doing a whole lot better, and I mean, I know I'm very demonstrative on the court. You know what I mean? Like, CC them know, like, that's who I am, and you know, maybe the gift and the curse. Some people don't like it, and it is what it is, but it's all just, you know, maybe the gift and the curse. Some people don't like it, and it is what it is, but it's all just trying to win, and that's what I always tell them. And whether it's CC getting me going tonight, he was on me. He kept telling me to take my mid-range, you know, and we just talked about it after the game. That communication is key, you know, and if you're not talking to each other, then I feel like you ain't trying to win. You know what I mean? So when we out there talking, then I feel like you ain't trying to win. You know what I mean? So when we out there talking and arguing at times, I feel like it's healthy, and I'm glad that we all trust each other enough to be like that.
Difficulty when you play the same team a couple years in a row in the playoffs. There's a chance that happens again in the next round, and that would be 4 out of 5 years. What sort of things become a greater priority when teams know one another that well?
You know what I mean? So I think it's attention to detail, and then just, you know, there's different players involved, but, you know, just studying the game and then take it from there.
Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Clint, early on in this series, Coach talked about you guys having that confidence that you've had all season long. Throughout this series, did you...
Defense were rolling, especially, definitely our first 3 games. Definitely our first 3 games. And then obviously when more you play them, the harder it gets. And just like Chris said, it's always hard to close the teams out. But I mean, our confidence was great, and I think that tonight we kept our poison together, and it was huge. So we really in a good place right now. It was huge. So we really in a good place right now.
And I know it's not set yet, but what do you think about the possibility of facing the Warriors? And then
I want to face them. And
oh man, you're gonna be all over Bleacher Report, man.
No, man.
It's cool though. It is what it is.
No, we're gonna get ready for that. We've been working on it last year. We've been working on it. All year long. Been working on it all year long. So I mean, I think that if you want to be the champion, you gotta be the champion. So at some point you gotta do it, right?
Yep. Make sure y'all put that too.
Quinn, as one of the younger players, how nice has it been to have CP3, have Chris Paul and James Harden to play with?
Awesome.
The guy.
Me too. All the friends every night they want to win. Yeah, trust me.
Because I know what he's capable of. You know what I mean? I done seen him too much. I do that, and I know what he's capable of. after he did that, he smacked the hell out of me too. Nah, that ain't funny. But
he was always like trying to. I mean, you was telling me, yeah, we need that energy. We like we need that tonight. We trying to close him out. So, yeah, whenever he said that, like directly, like I wanted to let him know that after that dunk, like I'm here now. Let's go. Let's get it.
There's two things. One, what do you think about getting another crack at Golden State?
CC said. You know, get to where you want to get to, you got to go through them. You know, they the reigning champs, been running the West for, what, like 5 years straight now. So, like I said, we'll go home, watch the game, see what happens, but yeah.
Two, you've been obviously a mentor to Donovan Mitchell. I know maybe it's not friendly during the playoff series, but series over now, what advice do you give him, you know, obviously after what was a tough night for him?
We'll talk this summer or something like that. That's like my brother, you know what I mean? But he knows and I know during the series, like people.
All right, so there's Mr. Capella giving us some real. Yeah, he's excited. That's what they want. And I like to mention a Bleacher Report. That's the Turner family, you know. We've got more coming. We'll hear from Donovan Mitchell on the other side.